This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Thirsty crops. Nova Scotia farmers invest in irrigation to combat increasing drought risks.
Vanishing value. Rents continue to climb for the province's oldest and most affordable rentals.
And donations for Cuba. Halifax nonprofits collect supplies to help Cubans navigate a national fuel and transport crisis.
Rain rolls in overnight, continuing throughout the day on Thursday with a risk for a thunderstorm. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. After a harsh growing season in 2025 due to extreme drought, more Nova Scotia farmers are investing in irrigation equipment.
As Selena Alders tells us, they want to ensure they're more resilient to extreme weather events.
Philip Keddy says last summer made one thing clear. He can't rely on rain alone if he wants to see prosperous crops. The sweet potato and strawberry plant farmer credits his robust irrigation system for helping him through a summer riddled with severe drought.
Without irrigation, our crops would have been down 50 to 75% or perished just because of the heat stress that they were going through. This is a stationary irrigation pump with the engine.
He and many other Nova Scotia farmers are now investing in even more equipment to water their crops. Financial aid programs through the Department of Agriculture saw hundreds of applications this year. In Nova Scotia's orchards, irrigation hasn't always been needed because many fruit trees can still thrive in relatively dry conditions.
But this last year showed us that is a risk that may be too big to take now. So growers are really looking at what the options are for their individual operations.
In a recent survey by the Fruit Growers Association, 70% of respondents said they'll definitely purchase irrigation equipment this year, while the remaining 30% said they're strongly considering it.
We know it costs upwards of $40,000 or more to plant an acre of orchard, so you really want to protect that investment.
Although things have improved over the winter, most of the region is still experiencing dry or drought conditions.
We are seeing warmer than normal temperatures predicted throughout the Atlantic region with drier summers. So that is obviously going to impact the growing season and their production.
That means for farmers like Keddy, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to become more resilient in the face of extreme weather and climate change.
We do everything in our power to plan for wet summers or dry summers, and we have the equipment around us to make that happen. And when we have a great summer, we're thankful to Mother Nature for working with us.
But what they really need at this moment is some good spring rain. Selena Alders, CBC News, Lakeview.
6 years after his disappearance, police have released an updated sketch on Dylan Ehler. The Truro Police Service says this new age progression sketch shows what Ehler may look like today. Ehler was 3 years old when he was reported missing on May 6, 2020. Investigators have said they believe he fell into a stream behind his grandmother's home and was swept away. He would be 9 years old today. Multiple searches have been conducted since Ehler's disappearance, but only his boots have ever been found.
Nova Scotia's police watchdog is investigating an incident involving Halifax Regional Police that sent a man to hospital on April 26th. The man had allegedly stolen from the superstore on Quinpool Road before fleeing on a bicycle. Police located him about a kilometre away on Maynard Street. Driving the wrong way down the one-way street, police struck the cyclist, then crashed into a pole. The man was taken to hospital and diagnosed with a fracture. CERT says it will be investigating due to the seriousness of his injury. In recent years, rents have gone up quickly for Nova Scotia's older and more affordable buildings. That's according to a CBC News analysis. And as Andrew Lamb reports, experts say it's important to have protections in place for those rental units.
Tens of thousands of Nova Scotia's oldest and most affordable rentals have continued to rapidly become less affordable. In a single year, the median rent for those older units increased between 13 and 18%, depending on the age of the building. That pace is more than double or triple Nova Scotia's rent cap, which does not apply when new tenants move into a unit. Earlier this year, Nova Scotia's housing minister told reporters how he sees the problem of rental affordability.
I believe that it's a simple supply and demand issue. And with more supply, you have no choice but to lower the rent.
We've seen record housing construction in recent years, but some experts say we cannot simply look at housing supply as a whole.
No one ever moved from an encampment into a subdivision. It's a question of who needs what housing where and at what cost.
Numbers from Canada's National Housing Agency show the newest rentals are far more expensive than older ones. The median rent of two-bedroom rentals built in the last 5 years was more than $2,300. That is, for example, 73% higher than the rents of units built between 1980 and 1999. Weitzman says building housing targeted towards lower-income people has a different impact.
You're meeting the immediate needs of people rather than expecting, the magical forces of the market to provide, which is what we have unfortunately been relying on for the last 40 years.
In a statement, the Department of Growth and Development says its generational investments in housing are starting to make a difference. It says the vacancy rate for the lowest price rentals doubled last year, showing the market is beginning to normalize. The province has also made efforts to help nonprofits purchase existing apartment buildings when they go up for sale. This is something experts have said is needed to protect affordable rentals.
When they transition to the for-profit sector, the rents may increase. If the building's in very poor shape, it could be brought to the ground and folks are displaced.
But when an older building is brought into the nonprofit sector, Bishop says affordability is maintained.
We'll maintain these homes as community assets.
The province says it's invested more than $288 million towards creating and helping groups acquire affordable housing units. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
The Nova Scotia Community College says a $15 million shortfall in its 2026-27 budget will result in the elimination of 91 positions. The provincial institution has cited rising costs and declining international tuition revenue, as well as a $9.4 million reduction in its provincial operating grant as reasons for the cut. In total, the 91 positions were eliminated through 45 layoffs, as well as unfilled vacancies, term endings, voluntary exits, and retirements. It expects 50 management, 15 operational support, and 26 professional support staff to be affected.
A sunny day today. What are we in store for? Here's Ryan Snoddon with that.
I guess I should be glad we soaked up the sun today, right?
Yeah, soaking up the sun today, soaking up the rain tomorrow, as we are looking at some wet weather moving in. Periods of rain, even the risk for a thunderstorm. First, let's look at how warm it was today. 25 at Cheticamp, 24 Ingonish Beach, some 23, 24 degree temperatures in eastern areas of the Annapolis Valley, Parsboro 23. Okay, yeah, I know. We got to get to the forecast for tomorrow, which is considerably cooler, and temperatures ranging between around 11 and 14 degrees. Those southerly winds gusting 50 to even 60 kilometers per hour. The wettest of weather will indeed be moving in as we move throughout the overnight into tomorrow morning. And then as we work our way into the afternoon, we'll see some gradual clearing over the west. Rainfall totals 10 to 30 millimeters across northern parts of the province, and looking more and more likely to get into the 20 to 40 millimeter range, and even some 50 and 60 millimeter pockets along that Atlantic coastline, especially the eastern shore into Cape Breton. Full timeline on this in your 7-day right into Mother's Day coming up.
Okay.
Do stay tuned. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Ambassadors to Canada representing 46 countries are in Halifax for a diplomatic economic mission. The annual event gives them the chance to see parts of the country outside of Ottawa and interact with provincial governments. Michael Gorman reports.
It's perhaps appropriate that ambassadors representing 46 countries arrived at Province House on Wednesday on a tour bus. The 3-day program started with a stop at the birthplace of Canadian democracy. Before lunch, there were official greetings from the Speaker of the House and a chance to sit inside the Legislative Chamber. Trips like these are an opportunity to build on existing ties or create new ones.
These days, of course, we are looking, as the EU, looking for reliable partners, predictable partners, and Canada is, of course, one of those. So we want to deepen our cooperation, to deepen our ties between the European Union and Canada and its provinces as well.
In Rwanda, we are almost doing everything now. So we are looking for partnerships. I told you about the innovation or information technology, AI. So we are looking for all those partnerships in order to really develop our country.
The province's deputy minister is hopeful for the opportunity to have access to the ambassadors.
Their needs and goals match Nova Scotia's. They have healthcare challenges, they have housing issues, they want their exports to come to our country and our exports to go to theirs. We're talking about travel between our countries and all of those opportunities. So they want the same thing for their countries as us. We all want to have economic prosperity for years to come.
The trip includes meetings with government officials, university and research leaders, and representatives for NATO and Mi'kmaq chiefs. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
Nova Scotia Health is scaling back on its blood collection to 50% in the central zone over the next 6 weeks. The move is to help staff adjust to the new one-person, one-record computer system. Blood collection was also cut back at the IWK when the OPOR launched in December. The hospital had complications with the online booking system, showing there were no appointments available. Patients were being urged to book at other locations if possible. The IWK says its blood collection department is now operating back at full capacity. Nova Scotia Health says it will ramp up sooner if the transition goes smoothly in the central zone. The OPOR will launch in hospitals in the Halifax area, the Eastern Shore, and West Hants on Saturday, despite calls from the NSGEU and politicians to delay it because of a lack of training. There will be some other temporary service changes during the transition. Nova Scotian patients can visit Nova Scotia Health's website for more information.
The province is looking for 3 municipalities for an upcoming pilot on community safety. Justice Minister Scott Armstrong announced the project at a conference of municipal leaders in Yarmouth last week. He says the pilot will explore creative approaches to improving the safety of communities by addressing the root causes of crime. Bridgewater Mayor and President of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, David Mitchell, says the pilot is needed.
We know that, I've been talking about this for a while, these Band-Aid solutions are not working. So pick a subject, right? Power to housing, crime to, grocery prices. We can't just keep doing Band-Aids. We have to get to the root. So I'm looking forward to this pilot starting wherever they're starting and then hearing the results and seeing it expand.
The move fulfills a recommendation from the Mass Casualty Commission to create local community safety needs assessments. Well, a not-for-profit organization based in Halifax is collecting medical supplies and bicycles for Cuba.
The country is in the midst of a major energy crisis. The CBC's Molly McNaughton has that story.
From medical supplies to bikes to luggage and many things in between, all these donations are currently in this warehouse in Halifax, but soon they will be heading to Cuba.
The need is much more urgent this year because without oil shipments coming into Cuba, electricity is much more sporadic.
For 2 years, Jeff and Amara Goodspeed with Los Primos have been collecting medical donations and instruments for Cuba through their music and medicine campaign. But the situation has recently gotten worse with the U.S. fuel blockade earlier this year. That's caused an energy crisis resulting in nationwide blackouts and a shortage of basic necessities. A big item the not-for-profit is looking for right now: bicycles.
They have made great strides in solar energy and with a focus on hospitals, but still transportation is a huge issue, and especially for doctors and interns.
As of now, he says they've received 3 bikes. Jeff's wife, Amara, is in Havana and is helping coordinate the donations.
We have no access to fuel. If you don't have an electric vehicle right now, you are hitchhiking back and forth to work, spending hours doing that. Doctors are walking kilometers to work.
They're also taking in musical instruments and, more importantly, medical supplies and wheelchairs. Claudia Garcia is a brain surgeon in Vedado, Havana. She says surgeries have been reduced to about a quarter of what it used to be.
Actually, in this moment, we are needing every help that we can get.
Last year, Los Primos sent over 1,500 kilograms of medical supplies. They've also sent over hundreds of instruments. The nonprofit is collaborating with Nova Scotia-Cuba Association and Not Just Tourists Halifax to get the supplies where they are needed. Molly McNaughton, CBC News, Halifax.
Just a beautiful day in Hackett's Cove. Ryan is up next with the full weather forecast. Stay with us.
All right, we're just talking about the temperatures of late in
know.
Nova Scotia, hitting the 20s in some places. Wow.
Beautiful, but things can't always stay the same, I guess.
Up and
Wait,
down.
it was two in a row, though, right?
Yeah, two in a row with some 20s, which is great. Obviously, the Atlantic coastline still struggling, as is the case this time of year. The North Coast is where it's at in the spring season, typically, especially late spring and early summer. Let's first have a look at our time lapse for today. The clouds are coming right into your living room in Parsboro. This is the Fundy Force site, and yeah, clouds obviously a little dominant to start the day, but it did mix out to a nice little mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. That really helped the temperatures pop, especially in and around the Parsboro area. 23 degrees in Parsboro today, so super, super nice. Those clouds have started to build back in, especially some of that high-level cloud cover at last check, and there's the latest shot from our friends at Nova Scotia webcams. And yes, 23 degrees, as we said, the high in Parrsboro today. It's currently 21, still 20 in Kentville, 21 in Greenwood. Temperatures 22 in Cheticamp. The Atlantic coastline cooler, but still nice today. We hit 18 degrees here at our rooftop station at the CBC. Currently 15 degrees still here in and around the city. Looking at those winds, yeah, they've been a factor today. They have been a factor today. Obviously, to get this nice warm stuff, you need these southerly winds pumping in these types of temps. Still gusting 50, 60 kilometers per hour. The winds are going to continue to be quite steady for tonight from the south as we look at this next system that's bringing the rain in, and it extends all the way down to the U.S. south. This area of high pressure settling in with some cooler temps, pushing down. Nashville at 14 is cooler than Halifax right now and across many parts of the province. Winnipeg 7, Thunder Bay 6, Toronto 8. Boy, this pocket of cool air is going to be a real thorn in the side of the Great Lakes region over the next 10 days or so. As we look at the rainfall outlook one more time, 10 to 30 millimeters for northern areas, 30, 40, 50 millimeters across southern areas, and could even see some pockets in the 50 to 60 range across the eastern shore and for you folks in Cape Breton, especially along that Atlantic coastline. Tonight, those temperatures are going to be mild, 9 to 14. Southerly winds still gusting 40, 50 kilometers per hour, so it is going to be a breezy night again. Walking you through the timeline, here comes that rain marching in late this evening, in through the overnight. And it does look like there's a risk for a thunderstorm in here as well. Note tomorrow morning, the bulk of that wet weather across the western half of the mainland and the province, and still some shower chances, eastern shore and Cape Breton, but you folks more so into the rain beginning in the morning, those steadier rains. And note, as we look at the lunchtime hour into the afternoon, the bulk of that heaviest rain will start to clear. It does look like cloudy skies, some lingering showers here, and the potential, yes, for some sunny breaks. The forecast models have been hinting at that a little bit more, especially in the last run, as you can see here from Cumberland County, in through the Cobequid Bay area and back towards Yarmouth. And so we'll keep our fingers and toes crossed that will come to fruition. Be a nice end of the day there. Southerly winds gusting to 60 across Cape Breton tomorrow. The lace of wet winds will be howling, gusting 80, possibly up to 90 kilometers per hour. A lace of wet wind warning is in effect there. Temperatures ranging between 10 and 17, coolest obviously in the onshore winds. Looking at the Northumberland shore, similar story. Coolest for the eastern shore, nice for the Northumberland shore temperature-wise, but yes, a wet day. And you can see temperatures ranging between 10 and 14 here in central areas, and back into the west ranging between 8 in places like Liverpool to 13, 14 degrees in the valley. Note the westerly winds, which will punch in behind this main line of rain. And you're wondering, the wind, when will it finally start to ease? It's been windy all week. Note Friday, rain clearing from Cape Breton. We've got some sunshine in the mix, lighter winds. An unstable day, though. There's cooler air moving in aloft here, and that will get things just cooking in the atmosphere. It'll be unsettled. The potential for some pop-up showers here into the afternoon on Friday. And so we're looking at temperatures anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees, 9 to 12 across Cape Breton. The good news as we work our way into the weekend, we've got some high pressure, sun and cloud for Saturday. A better chance for some wet weather moving back in Saturday night in through Sunday, but I think we could see some sunshine Mother's Day afternoon, and so wouldn't that be nice for the moms out there?
Yeah.
Moms will love it.
Timing would be good.
You bet. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well, the East Coast Junior Lacrosse League has a new team.
Until now, most of the teams have been here in Nova Scotia, but now they're joined by the first team from PEI. Have a look.
Yes, my name's Alex Stokes, and I'm here with the Junior B Oaks lacrosse team, and we're in the Crapo Actiplex. So we're playing in the ECJLL, the East Coast Junior Lacrosse League, and this is part of the expansion for the Junior B division, and we're representing the first time that an island team has been able to play in the league.
I started when I was in 8th grade, and we didn't really have a lot of people. It was a lot of parents that kind of helped out to get it going, and I knew I got a lot of opportunities through boarding school in the U.S. to university in Quebec. I had a lot of opportunities, so I wanted to make sure that when I was done with my playing career that I gave back to the kids and kind of give them the experience that I wish that I would have gotten when I was their age.
So I've been doing some training off island, you know, down in St. John, down in Truro. But it's way so nice to have a team down in PEI, just about 30 seconds away from your house instead of 3 hours. It's great. I was drafted over to Truro a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I decided now that there's a team here, just kind of support this team and have some fun here with the boys.
So far, our team looks great. We're really strong. We're looking forward to playing, seeing what we can do against the other teams and testing ourselves.
It's a great sport to watch. It's fast-paced. It moves quickly. There's big hits. Nothing much more you can ask for.
If I were to be honest, it can be a war sometimes. It's a lot of cross-checking. It's a battle. Yeah, come out here, it'd be pretty sweet fun to watch.
Coming up, the number of hantavirus cases in the outbreak on a cruise ship in the Atlantic rises to 8, but experts say the risk to the global population is low. Welcome back. The cruise ship at the center of a hantavirus outbreak is on its way from Cape Verde in West Africa to the Canary Islands.
3 people have already died, and those suspected of being infected were just flown to Europe. The CBC's Christine Birak brings us up to date.
Before lifting anchor for the Canary Islands, 3 patients, including the ship's doctor, were taken off MV Hondius. 2 said to be in serious condition. The third had close contact with a passenger who died.
It was a bit of a sleepless night because we have been preparing for this evacuation.
The patients were transferred directly to a waiting plane bound for European hospitals, where in Zurich, a Swiss passenger who left the cruise early is now hospitalized with hantavirus. Still, more than 140 passengers, including 4 Canadians, remain on board, some documenting their perilous journey online. The weeks-long luxury cruise of a lifetime took a turn when passengers started mysteriously becoming sick. Then, this announcement.
This is my sad beauty to inform you that one of our passengers sadly passed away.
2 more deaths would follow, including that passenger's wife.
He said it was due to natural causes and we are not infectious.
The man who filmed this video left the ship after news of the first death.
But it was also misguiding us. Because this person had the virus before he got on the ship.
While it's still not confirmed, based on lab tests, South African scientists found a rare strain of hantavirus on board. The Andes virus can transmit from person to person. The only documented cases are in Argentina, where the cruise started.
Concerning to see what's really unfolded here, how this has happened, but I don't think it's unexpected.
He says more viruses are moving into human habitats. Health officials are now tracing contacts from those on the ship, but say the risk to the general public is low.
This is not a new virus. It's not going to cause the next pandemic.
MV Hondius is expected to reach the Canary Islands on the weekend, as some passengers anxiously watch for signs of illness. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Dr. Lisa Barrett is an infectious disease expert here in Halifax. So, Dr. Barrett, what exactly is hantavirus?
Well, hantavirus is something that circulates in many, many parts of the world all the time, and it circulates mostly in rodents and a few other animals, and that, of course, includes mice. There are 2 different versions of hantavirus that we sort of put things into big groupings, the Europe and Asia version, and then the Americas version, of which the Andes version or strain that you talked about is part of.
Okay, and so what are the symptoms of this?
Well, each of them have a slightly different clinical presentation. The one that we're talking about that's in the Americas, including Canada, and that's on the cruise ship at the moment, starts off with fever, lots of muscle aches, some nausea, some GI symptoms, diarrhea. What does that sound like? It sounds like a lot of viruses that we see circulating, particularly in the spring and in the fall. And so not really easy to tell it apart from other viruses. And then in a certain number of people, not many, but in some people, they go on to get a very severe pneumonia that can also involve the heart and other organs. And in that particular case, that's a very, very serious disease.
Okay, and you mentioned transmission there. I guess the more traditional, or what we've heard more about, is the transmission between or from rats and mice, so the urine and the feces of them that you allude to there. Then we're hearing about human transmission. Can you kind of walk us through that?
Well, in as much as we know about it, this is a disease that we've been surveilling or keeping track of the numbers of in Canada since the 90s, but there's not a ton of research that's been done on the nitty-gritty. We do know that, as you mentioned, the most common way of transmitting is from feces droppings from rodents, mice, and their urine that becomes dried up, and then you generate some aerosols, you inhale them, and that's how you get sick. However, this particular Andes strain, it does seem that on occasion, although it's not particularly efficient, it is possible for people to spread it from one person to another. And of course, on a cruise ship, small space, large numbers of people close together, that is an ideal situation if this particular strain starts to become a part of the ship for it to spread between people.
Yeah, it makes sense. We're hearing about this case off Spain, of course, but have there been cases in the past here in Nova Scotia, and is the virus here now?
Well, we do know that this virus is fairly well spread across Canada. And as I mentioned, there have been different provinces that have had cases, about 170, 180 cases, 190 since the mid 90s. So that's not a lot of cases. It is very likely that there are many, many more people who become infected, but not particularly sick. And so we don't know about them. We don't know the exact number of people that have been exposed in Canada. Is the virus likely to be in most provinces where the host vector, particularly a species called the deer mouse, are found across Canada? It is probably quite likely. And of course, that means that if you're going to be doing things out and about where you might run into droppings from a mouse, it is good to have a very practical, sensible approach to reducing your risk of running into hantavirus.
So, how often is it fatal?
Yeah, that's a great question. We know that if you're one of the people who does get sick enough to come to hospital, somewhere between 20 and 40% of people can actually die from this. So it's really important. But the other thing is that you don't hear about this often. And what that tells you is that it's rare. So this is rare, but really important if you do get sick. And it takes about, a week or multiple weeks before you can have symptoms. So 1, think about it. 2, it's still rare, so not a panic situation. But 3, if you do get sick a few weeks after you've been cleaning up the cottage or around mouse droppings, do think enough to get some medical attention. So important, but not panic worthy.
Glad you brought that up because it's spring cleaning time. People may be finding droppings. What should people do to protect themselves?
Yeah, when you're going out to your cottage for the first time, you may not have been out there all winter. Same is true when you've gone there, whether it's autumn, spring, but now is a great time to think about this. What we would tell people is if you see that there are some droppings that are present, don't start going in there with a big broom and stirring up all kinds of dust and aerosol that you're going to breathe in. Number 1, take a practical approach to having a good mask so that you don't start inhaling. And to be honest, dust is not so great to inhale anyway, so a mask is a good idea. But also pre-wet the areas with what we call 10% bleach, so 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. Mix it up, spread it on an area that has some of the droppings, let it sit for at least 10, 15, 20 minutes at least, and then you can wipe it up with a paper towel. That reduces your chances of inhaling anything that might be there. And in fact, take a peek at the Health Canada website on hantavirus and how to prevent it. They've got some really great suggestions, including how to prevent the mice from getting in the first place. So prevention's always the key. There's no vaccine for this. There's no great treatment if you do get very sick. And so it's really important on the prevention front that we just take some easy, simple things that can help us to prevent the disease in the first place.
Always great advice, Dr. Barrett. Thank you so much for this.
Okay, take care.
Coming up, following weeks of stalled talks, the U.S. and Iran are said to be close to a peace deal.
And public resentment is growing in Russia after a series of internet blockages, with some criticism coming from Kremlin loyalists. Welcome back. There are reports that Iran and the U.S. are moving closer to an agreement to end the war.
This comes after Donald Trump abruptly paused a new operation to help move traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, and as China makes its wishes known to Tehran. Katie Nicholson has the latest from Washington.
After weeks of deadlocked stagnancy, news of possible movement on talks with Iran came first from the U.S. president on social media. Assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary epic fury will be at an end, and that the Strait of Hormuz would be open to all. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be sadly at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. This comes after Donald Trump abruptly ended Project Freedom, which he announced Sunday, which was supposed to help guide ships through the strait. Mediators are working on a one-page framework of sorts to get negotiations back on track between Iran and the U.S. The key issues reportedly include reopening the Strait of Hormuz and limiting Iran's nuclear proliferation. A sticking point for Trump has been getting Iran to hand over its highly enriched uranium. Iran has previously refused that demand. At an event to honor military mothers, Trump was asked about it.
Hi, Mr. President. Can you tell us what you think about the extracting the uranium from Iran?
Yeah, we're going to get it.
How will you get it, sir?
We're going to get it.
Trump also told reporters today that Iran agreed not to have nuclear weapons.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that, among other things.
Diplomats have previously cautioned against speaking about bargaining points outside of the negotiating table. Iran is currently reviewing the proposal before giving its feedback to Pakistani mediators. There was movement, too, in the Gulf of Oman, where the U.S. military said it launched an F-18 that fired on and disabled an Iranian-flagged oil tanker trying to evade its blockade of Iranian ports. China, the biggest consumer of Iranian oil, made its wishes clear to Iran's visiting foreign minister, saying restarting the conflict is unacceptable, and it pushed for the restoration of normal and safe maritime traffic through the strait. Trump is also expected to visit China next week. Some diplomatic observers suggest that is also putting pressure on the U.S. to make a deal before then, so that Trump is in a stronger position when he sits down with President Xi. Katie Nicholson, CBC News, Washington.
Russia is celebrating the Soviet victory over the Nazis this weekend. Ahead of it, the Kremlin is restricting internet access, citing security concerns and the war in Ukraine. But as Briar Stewart reports, some people think there are other reasons.
Russia is getting ready for its annual military parade, and officials say it's going to be scaled down this year because of security threats. And it's also security threats, which is why officials say they're having to disrupt mobile internet. Now, on Tuesday, people in Moscow and in St. Petersburg couldn't access the internet on their phones for hours. They couldn't log on to social media, use banking apps, or order taxis. And what authorities have been saying is that in recent months, sometimes they disrupt the cell networks to make it harder for drones to strike Russian targets. But many Russians think that's only part of the explanation. Over the past 6 weeks, there's been more than a dozen outages, and this really coincides with Russia ramping up efforts to target VPNs. Now, these are virtual private networks that people use to try to mask or hide where they're logging on from. Russians use VPNs to access sites that have been blocked or basically throttled in Russia. Popular sites like YouTube and WhatsApp. VPNs are legal in the country, but the government is trying to crack down on them, telling internet service providers that they need to identify those using a VPN and restrict traffic. There has been a lot of public frustration over this. The head of Russia's Software Association, who sits on a number of Kremlin advisory boards, wrote a letter to the government essentially accusing authorities of trying to break the internet. A teacher in Moscow told me that the whole situation is causing a lot of stress because many don't believe that this all has to do with security.
Most of the people around me don't trust this version, and I guess it's like they have some other reasons for it. They're not telling us, and it causes mistrust. That's the problem, I guess. People get worried and stressed because of that.
Throughout its war on Ukraine, the Russian government has tightened its grip on the internet, and the authorities haven't ruled out issuing fines for those using VPNs. Briar Stewart, CBC News, London.
CBC News has learned that Canada's military is quietly deploying counter-drone defenses at ports and air bases. But authorities now face legal and operational challenges. How to stop airborne threats over Canadian cities without disrupting civilian life or crossing regulatory lines. The CBC's Murray Brewster reports.
The war between Russia and Ukraine has shown the devastating impact of weaponized drones, especially surprise Ukrainian attacks against some of Russia's biggest and most expensive military equipment.
We have some capability already to take things out of the sky.
Canadian military commanders are considering how this country can defend against similar attacks.
We have developed and are already working with some counter-UAS systems that are in place and continuing to be developed in certain locations across Canada.
The Air Force declined to comment after CBC News asked DND about the precise measures being taken to protect bases. But Canada's military has adopted the Italian British-built Falcon Shield for troops overseas. Implementing it at home poses a challenge, though, because drones are brought down either by jamming or shooting at them.
The people of Halifax are not going to be very excited about kinetic munitions being fired off to shoot down a drone in downtown Halifax, right? So how do you do these things in an urban center?
And then there's the challenge of recognizing whether any one drone is a danger.
When we're coming into Halifax Harbour, for example, it is very hard to distinguish between a threatening drone coming off Point Pleasant Park or someone who's just curious about the very cool warship that's coming into harbour.
Experts say the government needs to clarify the law for that scenario and others.
There needs to be a system in place where if any one of those malicious use of UAV materializes, we can interdict and deal with it very quickly.
In March, the federal government strengthened its authority to be able to interdict drones that pose security risks. But experts say it's only a first step. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.
A new report says OpenAI failed to respect Canadian privacy laws when training its artificial intelligence-powered chatbot. The federal and provincial privacy watchdogs probe found the company used sensitive details about Canadians, including children.
I think at the heart of these considerations should be what is the best interest of children. The first step need not necessarily be a ban. I think the first step should be, can we fix the underlying issue? Can we make it more privacy protective? Can we make it more safe for everyone, but particularly for children?
OpenAI says it has recently taken steps to improve privacy protections. The company is also facing several lawsuits in California following the fatal shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC in February. OpenAI was criticized for not alerting RCMP about the shooter's earlier posts about gun violence before killing 8 people.
A huge win for Canada's aeronautic industry. A low-cost airline based in Malaysia has ordered 150 planes from Airbus, a company based in Quebec.
I'm very happy to announce today that AirAsia is ordering 150 A220s for its major fleet renewal.
Amidst this global turmoil, Canada, Quebec, we're focused on what we can control. We're building our strength at home. We're diversifying our trade with reliable partners abroad.
Carney says the deal will support thousands of Canadian jobs for years to come. He says one of the key selling factors of the A220 was its low emissions. This is the largest single firm order ever for jetliner.
The Department of Fisheries and Oceans is launching an investigation after a whale was hit by a fast-moving sea-doo off the coast of BC. The dramatic collision was caught on video Monday. Carolyn Bargout looks at the outrage and concern surrounding the incident. A warning, viewers may find parts of the story distressing.
As boaters and spectators gathered for a glimpse of a gray whale off Vancouver's seawall, a man on a sea-doo speeds across the water.
Oh my God.
As the whale came up for air, they collided, sending the man flying. Richard Savage watched it happen.
I mean, I was devastated. I felt, terrible for the whale. Of course, terrible for the person who was injured, but just, like, how is this happening? Like, it seemed, even the odds of the whale being hit seemed impossible.
The man was taken to hospital in serious but stable condition. Whether the whale is injured is unknown. The Department of Fisheries and Oceans says it's still investigating. It's not clear if the man intentionally hit the whale or if he even saw it before the collision. Still, there's frustration.
Even before it happened, I think people were going, "You idiot, slow down, there's whales in the area."
It's not common to see whales so close to the shoreline around Vancouver. Whoa. But recently, orca and gray whale sightings have led to crowds of onlookers. TFO says it received a number of calls about people getting too close.
It's illegal to disturb marine mammals. That includes approaching, swimming, or interacting with them. People in watercraft must stay 100 meters away from whales, dolphins, and porpoises, and even further from orcas in BC or any whale with calves.
The penalty could be a fine up to $100,000 for a first offense. Gray whales in the Pacific have been struggling to find food. That's likely why the whale was closer to land, says this expert.
The very fact that they're ending up, some of them in places where they don't normally feed, suggests and supports that they might need to feed on the way back up to the Arctic feeding grounds.
She says this incident should serve as a reminder for people to slow down on the waterways. A day later, a whale was spotted in the same location, swimming. Hopefully a good sign. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
Canada's main stock index rose over 400 points today, while U.S. markets continue to reach new highs amid hopes that the U.S. and Iran are moving closer to an agreement to end their war. Here's a look at where things closed as we head to break. Well, yeah, a breezy day for sure in Nova Scotia, but a picture day, I would think.
Yes, and I know signs of spring are everywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Signs of spring, and many emails coming into the inbox over the last couple of days, and a couple with these trees. Have a look. We're going to zoom in on Upper Falmouth, and yes, beautiful spot here as always. And in the distance, those are magnolia trees starting to bloom.
The old car in the corner.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. That's at the Baldwin Nursery in Upper Falmouth, and thanks to Susan Lawrence for sharing this. And not the only magnolia trees that are blooming across the province, as we know, but love to see them. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. There's the forecast for tomorrow. Some wet weather, temperatures ranging between 11 and 14 degrees with the rain coming through, even a risk for a thunderstorm tracking through. The southerly winds gusting 50 to 60, ultimately becoming westerly into the afternoon for western areas and then eventually central on the tail end of that rain. Friday, a much quieter day. We'll see some shower chances, though, especially central and northeastern areas. I think the southwest, Yarmouth, Bridgewater, and also Cape Breton will likely remain dry, though, on Friday based on the outlook right now. There's the rain that's moving through. Again, it's going to be pretty soggy, and then that clearing out, could see some sunshine even into the Thursday afternoon time period for the northwest corner of the province. And then there's Friday, some rain at least some showers will develop into the afternoon for central, as I said, and towards the northeast. And then for Saturday, looking at that area of high pressure coming in and keeping things quiet. And we are looking at some wet weather moving back in Saturday night in through Sunday with some showers. Doesn't look like a washout. Hopefully some sunshine into the afternoon for Mom. And then some showers for Monday and some rain back on tap for Tuesday. Pretty soggy pattern overall here, but it's all good.
Yeah,
good.
Fingers crossed for Sunday for sure. Thanks, Ryan. Well, it doesn't take the world's best detective to solve what's going on in this next story. No, devotees of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's classic Sherlock Holmes stories recreating his fateful duel with his arch nemesis, Professor Moriarty, 135 years later.
60 members of the Sherlock Holmes Society of London traveled to the Reichenbach Falls in Switzerland, where the fictional characters fell to their apparent deaths.
The story of Sherlock's death was first published in 1893. Why are fans still passionate for the master investigator? Well, that's elementary, my dear Watson.
Nicely played, Ryan. That is it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.